Thank you, Greg. Good morning, everybody. It's really my pleasure to be here to join you to share the view of China on the soft power. First, I would like to say, right now, there's still some different understanding about soft power. What means the soft power of a country or the soft power of any organization or even soft power of an individual person. So this might be different, but also have some related. So for the soft power of a country or a nation or a state, first it means your governance for your internal affairs, and then your power, soft power, to deal with the international affairs or external affairs. So whatever from the internal or external, let me say soft power is quite simple. It just means you can persuade, you can guide the others, follow your footsteps willingly, not by your force. Or, of course, you must base on your hard power. So if you have no hard power, I do believe since you have enough soft power, but it could not be carried into reality. So I think this, while we talk the soft power with the military fields, military people, what do you mean? So 7 months ago, when I get the invitation to ask me to give this presentation to the meeting, because soft power, if we talk with the military people, what is the soft power right now for you? We have many generals, strategists, professors, and doctors. You have many considerations, you have much ideas about the soft power in your system, Navy, Air Force, Army, and your defense system of your country or your field. So let's come back while we talk this issue with the defense people, how to deal with this issue. So I do believe it's a little bit difficult to talk with you about soft power, but since I'm the ambassador, I can talk with everyone. So my idea is that your soft power is attract people to follow in culture, philosophy, ideas. So come back to China. What's the soft power of China? What's the idea? What's the definition from Chinese side? It's win-win through cooperation. Win-win by cooperation. Cooperation for win-win. So this is the idea. So perhaps you may quite interested about how China to use its soft power in the international relations. Let's go back to the history. Here we stand in Sri Lanka, in the islands. I must say China has 5,000 years history. As in some countries, at that moment, still, with some, even no people. So why China can continue with no stop, 5,000 years history, with modern culture, modern economy, and always leading the development of the human being. Unfortunately, that leading was stopped at the middle of 18th century. So, if we go back to the history of every country, of course, for me, for China, what's the soft power for the government and for the country? For the government, for the governance of the country, for the nation, to develop the relations with others, with the neighbors. So if you have no soft power, you will be destroyed by some time. So if we go back to the 4 advanced historical countries, or 4 cultures, or 4 civilizations, so how about the lessons and experience for us in soft power? Come back to this country, as you know, more than 600 years ago, the great Chinese navigator Chen He came here 5 times with more than 20,000 soldiers. Because if not soldiers at that moment, they have no enough power to come here. But what Chen He did here, why Chen He came here? Of course, or some other Asian countries, the final destination is Mombasa in Kenya. So 5 times in this end, Chen He took rice, tea, silk, and other Chinese products and technology to this island. Chen He did not take any action against this country. Chen He did not conduct colonialism. And also Chen He did not take any colony action against any countries along the road from China to Mombasa. The total 7 times. So this is the culture of China. So we continue our win-win cooperation for 5,000 years. So that's why today the Chinese government and Chinese leaders insist on win-win by cooperation. Second, I must have some comments about today. Today, the G20 meeting started in Hangzhou. What is the world right now? Of course, we are not faced the tremendous wars or conflicts, but the conflicts in Middle East, in North Africa, in some other areas. particularly the economic slowdown, is a big challenge to all countries. So while we talk about the conflicts, what are the roots and the fundamental causes of the conflicts, particularly right this year, the illegal immigrants from Middle East and North Africa to Europe. So I talked to my friends many times. I quite appreciate the government of Germany and some other EU governments for their efforts to dealing with the issue. Why? So because we did not use enough soft power, but so much hard power in the region. That's why in the past almost 15 years, the wars, the internal conflicts, so right now the negative result goes to Europe. So this is not fair. But I quite appreciate the efforts of European countries. I lived in Europe for 8 years. I do believe the culture in Europe that attach more and more importance in the soft power, not hard power. That's also the Chinese idea and Chinese principle. So right now, the G20 meeting in Hangzhou, we decided, not China, all the 20 members decided, we focus on economic issue and social issue. If no development of economy, how to deal with the problems, additional problems of all countries. So, soft power should be promote a cooperation and a win-win style model. And if we talk about the modern political system, last year we celebrate the 70th anniversary of the foundation of the United Nations. So this foundation of UN was the greatest achievement of human being. As you know, before World War II, we have no one powerful international or global organization recognized by all human beings. So after that, since we still have some conflicts, disagreements, misunderstanding among nations and peoples, but generally, UN took a functional role in push all the countries to use your soft power more than hard power in the relations. So that's why there's so many challenges faced by the human being. We talk about diseases, climate change, food security, environmental issues, maritime. So this morning we hear from the news almost 120 cases of the Zika in Singapore. What is the problem? How to do with that? So we face the challenge. We need to use the soft power more than hard power. Of course, we can define the hard power in different ideas. Perhaps economic power. If you have no money, how do you play your soft power, use your soft power? But of course, we always defend the hard power as a military. So while we solve the problem with the doctors, with the professors, socialists, NGOs, not defense people. So since there are so many soldiers, generals sit here, I must say, you are the last safeguarding for use of the soft power. Rule of law, good governance, this is the soft power. And I know you are quite interested in the Asia region. What happened in the Asia Pacific? In the past more than 40 years, I do believe Asia Pacific is one of most stable regions in the global. So that's why most of the countries in this region get a development in economic and social affairs. China, Japan, Korea, India, Australia, Asian countries, including Sri Lanka, we enjoy a stable, peaceful environment. We enjoy the cooperation and friendship among the peoples. If you have some comparison with some other areas. So I must say that greatly because of the countries to use more soft power to promote cooperation other than to use hard power to push confrontation, finally it causes conflicts and wars. But what is the challenge face us? There's still some people or some forces would like to use more hard force in this region. They would like to make some trouble in this region. So this is the challenge. I didn't participate in yesterday's meeting, but I fully appreciate the two speakers before me. Culture, economic, philosophy. In this region, we cannot have a united one, but we must respect the diversity. So, and also, people might be interested in the issue in South China Sea. I was in charge of this issue for 5 years in the ministry as a DDG. I know every story. If China to use the hard power, it's a disaster for this region. So we always use the soft power to promote cooperation, to manage the disputes. to try every effort to reach consensus or agreements. Peace, stability is a priority of this region, as well as for the Chinese. So we push to set up 7 mechanisms to deal with this issue. If you have interest, perhaps another time I can talk with you specially for this issue. But I must ensure you, China is always a peacekeeping, not only in this region, but also in the global. China is number 1 in the UN Security Permanent members, 5 members, in the peacekeeping. Soldiers, financial support, and equipment support. And also, according to the Chinese suggestion, the UN have a special program for the peacekeeping from last year. China already set up 8,000 soldiers for peacekeeping, specialty force for this one. So in every peacekeeping port, there are Chinese soldiers. And also the Chinese government burden the financial requirements. So from political, economic, peacekeeping, climate change, maritime issues, everything, China support and try both best to use soft force or soft power other than hard power to dealing with these issues. So this is the policy of China. This is also policy of the UN chart. UN chart, we have the 5 principles. 5 principles means we push the countries to use more soft power, not hard power. So I appreciate you invite me to share with you my view in this regard. Since you are the soldiers, generals, perhaps you are not agree with my idea because your function and your job, your competence is hard power. But please, keep your hard power and support your government to use soft power to promote cooperation and win-win. Thank you so much.